Hey, yo, what up, what up, what up?
Peace.
Yo, peace, man. Welcome to the Gift of G.A.B, man. When we dealing with what?
Growth.
Accountability.
And balance, yo. Today we talking about value. Value in self, value in family and friends, value in materialism, value in your jobs, in your integrity over money or your money over your integrity, whichever one you decide. But we going to build on all of this today, yo. Let me spark it off and go ahead and have Najee start it off. And she going to build with self. Yo, P.
Yeah. So, value and self. It's a broad topic, but it's just like, let me get personal. So, the things that I value in this life, obviously friends, family, morals, ethics, you know, and to bring about those values in my everyday life, in my everyday living, it's just, it can get hectic sometimes and heavy, and I think that, you know, it's just another thing to bear and have to protect. You know, we want to protect our energy, we want to protect ourselves, but we also need to protect our values because those are what characterize our being and our personal. You know what I'm trying to say? Like ourselves. That's what makes us individualized. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how can my values? How can I go about this world and make sure that my values are not only serving myself and what I want to accomplish, but are serving others in a more positive way? You know what I'm saying? And I think with society and self, like, those two are definitely in battles with each other, because if we look at today, it's just like there's a lot of people who are just living solely based off of values, which you have to come together. And does that make sense? You have to see what I'm trying to.
It's a battle, pardon self. It's a battle between principles and pleasure.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? A lot of people, like the values she's talking about, you learn these jewels when you're a baby. Your parents or your grandparents tell you this certain value. Generations above tell you this certain value about having honor and respect and integrity. You know what I mean? But society now is teaching you to do what feels good in the moment.
Yeah,
you see
it's just like, yes, it's just like you need to not only take what you learn from your friends and learn from your family and take what you learn from society, but you have to personalize it and kind of make it in your own way so that you're walking as an individual, as somebody who's not following a trend, as somebody who's not following like some certain type of crowd. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
But and stay true to yourself and stay true to thy family, and you know what I'm saying? So it's like
That comes with a balance, basically. Like, just balancing everything you saying. Like,
but not
never
really
too much, you never too less.
not really. I'm not trying to say more like a balance thing. It's definitely the values and
The
like
foundation.
what you want, like what you need to believe. Like, I don't know, like what you need to believe in, what you need to, you know what I'm saying? Because everything is a balance. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, it's almost like how you hold yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
I definitely got you on that one.
Like, you know, those people that you know hold themselves to a higher standard, but end up lowering your standards due to whatever. And it's like, well, if that was a value that you had, why did you need to change?
And this is what I'm finna ask you, like, why do you feel like people do that? Like, why do you feel like people settle for somebody that's less than them when they know that they're at a higher frequency than they are? Why do you feel like people?
I think because people are impatient.
You know what else? So
I think that's what it is.
go ahead. No,
Yeah.
I don't have to.
I think people are impatient. I think that plays a part. You know what I'm saying? A person for myself too. Like, people have needs and don't know how to channel them into something. So instead of channeling into, I don't want to say something productive to say like people are lazy, but like,
You know, people are lazy.
but it is that, because it's just like when you become impatient and you know your values are high, you know you have, like, for instance, you might have a doctorate, you might have your own business, you might have this, you might have that, you know, you have values of living this life, you had exceedingly high whatever, you wanted your significant other to look like this, to be like this, to have this, to be, you know what I'm saying? But eventually, you had to start being like, okay, I have to decline, like slow down and take away and take away and take away.
We don't have to, but
That's what I'm
like
saying.
people, like from like based on what you just said, it was like people from my perception, it's like they get to a point, and now when they at that point, they lonely. So it's like now they settling for somebody that's coming near them because there's nobody around, because they always working towards what they want, and now that they're there, there's nobody there. So they probably will settle for something because they can't find a person at their level or whatever the case that may be.
But do you think it's loneliness, or you just think that they just feel
It could be
outcast, like they
either
feel
way.
like outcasted because their values are so strong?
That's a tomato thing. It's like that's based on a person. I couldn't say like if I'm there, I won't feel lonely. Like, we all got a lonely moment, so it's like nobody around. I don't got that significant other that I'm on the bed with. Now I'm laying in the bed. Y'all got all of this, but by myself. Like, I mean, so
But this is
people who would settle.
But this is the thing about it too. That's gonna test if you got true value or not.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, if you put yourself on a pedestal and you deserve to be on that pedestal, you not coming off that pedestal for nobody, yo. You're not gonna play yourself out of that pedestal for nobody. If you got true worth, if you a real king or a real queen, you're not gonna play yourself like a peasant. You see what I'm saying? Just because it's lonely being a king. You're gonna give away all of your kingdom just because you're lonely and you want to be amongst the peasants. You see what I'm saying?
But some,
you'd be surprised though how many people would do that though. Like everybody don't have that mindset. Like people don't think like that. That's like a in your own type of thing. It's like either that was taught growing up, or you had to learn that growing up, or you just don't know at all. Like,
That's what I'm saying. So it's like when we're born and we're into these families and they set these values. You know what I'm saying? And then we come out into the real world, and it's like, and now you kind of just have to like rebuild, and like how do you? I guess what I'm trying to say is how does one make sure that their values are going to be purposeful? You get what I'm saying?
True.
Like that's what I'm trying to say. Like that's. Like to find value in yourself, yeah, it's about trials and errors and stuff, but it's just like it's also like like you know what I'm saying?
But that's the reason why we came into this form to experience this life. Because at the end of the day, when you're going through your stages from being born until your teenage years, I would say around like 12, 13 is when you really start experimenting with all these values that your parents have put in you since you was born. And you test and see if they valid or not. You test and see if these lessons that they taught you is gonna hold weight in today's reality.
See, but then you have to think though. Some people aren't taught that. Some people just winging and shit. Some people just like outside. Like I ain't saying look, just like just my parents didn't teach me nothing, but I can't tell you like, oh yeah, my mom was like, don't do this and don't do that. Yeah, don't lie and take shit. But other than that, it's like it's not like it's a giant. Not like she's saying carry yourself like this.
A certain type of way.
The dad like no, you do this because of ABC. It's like people just grow just giant winging shit. So it's like you won't know value until you hang around certain people and you start seeing certain shit. Like they doing this because of this. So now you like taking pieces and traits of people around you.
Right, and going based off of that. But going based off of that, what I'm trying to say is, what if that's because that's all you know, you think that's right?
Yeah, see, but and that's why you need people around you doesn't hold you accountable of you fucking up. Like if you wrong, I'm gonna tell you, but you are fucking wrong. Like that's not right. And you could think that you're right, even though you know you're wrong. I'm gonna probably argue like 5 minutes, and then if I see you like still like, you know what I'm saying, doing that shit, I'm just like whatever. Like you're not gonna change until you want to change.
You know what I was thinking too? I feel like a lot of people get it messed up where they feel like value is really attention.
Explain.
People think that something valuable is something valuable because it's giving the attention that they want. instead of it being something valuable. Like for instance, if you got a chain or if you got a nice BMW or Audi or something like that, people feel like that's something valuable just because it gives them the attention from other people. You know what I mean?
That attention brings good and bad attention though. Like when they say, dress the part, be the part. It's like, if you know you going to a corporation, but you weren't hoodied up and you weren't fitteds and shit and jewelry, they're not looking at you like, oh yeah, he look like he's on something. They're gonna look at you like, oh yeah, he's a hood motherfucker, or whatever the case may be.
So it's all about
Perception. That's all.
Yeah.
It's like perception at the end of the day. Based on that, that's just all perception.
And controlling that perception too. So it's like when you come up with that master plan,
But
you control that perception part of yourself. You control that perception. So once that perception works, you go ahead and come through with your master plan. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
see, I was gonna say, but then isn't that the materialism kind of living through you? Going based back off of what you said about people feeling like attention to like feeling like they need or they want that attention because they have these things, but it's like that's more like materialism.
It go back to self. You know what
I'm saying? Because that's more like the materialism, things that you want. That's more like that thing. Like the water is living through you. Like you're not living through that water. Does that make sense?
I see that.
So you don't value. You're not really valuing the thing that you have. You're letting that thing value you and make that thing have you try to be up here.
That's when you draw the line though. There's always a line like not like living through something, but using that thing to get where you want to be. I guess based on how you doing it, it's like if I know I'm going to a business meeting and everybody got like a certain kind of vehicle or car, whatever the case may be, then I know I can get it. Like I probably rent one out just to get in the door. Like I don't care about nothing else. I'm gonna do what I gotta do to get in this door, but still be true to my values and like my core. Like I'm saying,
because it's like you gotta be centered.
Yeah.
If you gonna make that move, you gotta be centered. It's a lot of individuals that's not fucking centered, and it's like if they don't got Balenciagas on, they feel like they ain't shit. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm
really real, man.
But I mean, even if I have to wear the same suit every day, I don't care. But I'm gonna still make sure I'm fucking clean. Just like based on the pursuit of happiness, I'm gonna just use that movie as an example. Like just what he went through to get to where he was at. Like he had them values. He lived a certain way. He made sure he did what he did every day for him and his son. Like them values that he just lived off of. And when he got to that point, sure, he got to that point.
Right, but he didn't let that's that right there. Right,
living within his means too, honestly. Like,
right, when you live within your means. And you're true to thyself, and you have, you know what I'm saying, and you're basing your truthfulness of thyself into these values. But when you let the material, you know what I'm saying, when you let that material, like going based off of that movie, like he wasn't like, okay, well shit, I need to figure out how to get a whole new whatever because this is how they're gonna. He just went.
He did what he had to do because of his circumstances.
You get what I'm saying? And it's just like, why do people go against why do people go against that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Just so that they feel valued by other people. Like, why do you need that confirmation? Like, I probably sound all over the place.
I feel like that goes to being a child. Like who you are today stems from how you grew up. To me, it's like people who seek attention, receive that kind of attention that they seeking, or if my mom gave me so much love, or my dad gave me all this love, now I'm seeking it from other people. So it's like it can go either way. Like why people do stuff. It's like there's a core to everything. Like I'm acting like this because of this. Like I know I could be real desensitized at times. Like I just not give a fuck because of what I went through and what I saw growing up. That shit don't mean nothing to you. Be like, oh, my phone bill's off and and I'm just looking at you like, I see you die. Like this shit is.
That's real shit, yo. But when you talking about family and y'all talking about value, yo, that's like the meaning of civilization. Because civilizations is based off of what? Families. And the meaning of civilization is one, having knowledge, wisdom, understanding, culture, refinement is not a savage in the pursuit of happiness. So it's like either you do the shit the right way and it's gonna benefit you longevity or the long term, or you're gonna do shit the wrong way and that shit gonna benefit you short term.
But that would be the growth, right? That would be the growth in the.
You get my bad.
No, you're fine. That would be the growth in the society and the trial and error of you within yourself. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that also is the integrity too of that person to want to learn that those values that you once believed in are not those values that you need to have right now.
It goes to building, destroying, like just like going through that whole process. Like you have to break down to build up, and literally that's something that we did in the army. Like they literally broke you down to the point where they molded you how they want you to be. And like my drill sergeant, like the man used to tell me all the time, like, yo, I'm gonna make y'all like the most arrogant, cockiest motherfuckers ever. That's exact words. And I never like really paid them no mind. But when I left that joint, I felt that like, okay, I see what you're talking about. Like, but they like it's just a psychological thing, just build you up, just to break you down, just to build you back up.
That's how it be though. Like I remember when niggas didn't have nowhere to stay, all that dark space I done came out of. You see what I'm saying? That rain, hail, snow, and earthquakes that I done came out of. And that build up your confidence, because it's like when you done been from the lowest to the low, and you done been in hell, because heaven and hell is a state of mind, so you done been in hell, and you made it out of hell, now you living in heaven, can't nobody tell you a motherfucking thing, son.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? Because shit, you already on top of the world. How you gonna take, what words can you bring to me that I ain't bringing to myself already? You see what I'm saying?
So your values come from a raw place. You know what I'm saying? Whereas somebody who has their shit together, you know what I'm saying? That's coming from a place of prestige not prestige, but what's the word I'm looking for? The place of privilege.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. There's forever that battle of what's the word I just said? What's the word I just said? Privilege, thank you. It's coming from privilege and raw. That's what I'm saying. Like it's that battle of self, because it's like, especially in society, and that is that is that. You know what I'm saying? Because like there's those people who come from that raw place, right? Who come from that raw place. They're like, nah, these are the values. You don't snitch. You don't do this. You don't do this. You be this. You be this. You be this. But then you have those people that's like, no, you do this. You do this. You do this. You do this. So it's kind of like, because there's so many differences in values and separations, that's why there is no accord.
And you know what else too? I see a lot of people that have a lot of position of power are the ones that are not valuable. Let me take that. Not honorable. They don't have any integrity. You see what I'm saying? Because they done snake their way to the top. So it's like when you coming up too, especially at the age I'm at now, I'm 23. It's like I'm experiencing a lot of people in positions of power, and it's rubbing me the wrong way, because it's like, yo, you're not even thorough, bruh. Like the way I came up is different from the way you came up. All of the back talking and not holding your word and all of that shit is not honorable to me. So it's like a conflict between being honorable and being dishonorable, and then the conflict is coming into positions of power. Who's gonna rule? Either good or bad, bad or good. You know what I mean? And another thing I want to talk about is y'all dumbass niggas talking about, I'm gonna cuss too, because niggas need to hear this shit. All you dumbass niggas talking about money over everything and shit like that. Getting it tatted on you, all types. If you saying money come over everything because your words hold frame, your words have power, your words manifest your reality. If you saying money comes over everything, then what you really saying is money comes over everything. Money comes over integrity. Money comes over honor. Money comes over family and friends. Money come over love. Everything, bruh. So you willing to sell your soul for a fucking dollar, bruh?
Because all you value is the money. You don't value yourself. So you would put yourself in jeopardy just to make a quick dollar that's gonna be taken away from you faster than you got it.
A dollar that's printed, what it costs, like 2 pennies to make a fucking dollar, or a nickel to make a dollar? Niggas is dying over this fucking bread, son. That really don't mean shit. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, this is just a tactic they use to separate the masses and to create illusions and dreams and all. But you know what I mean? What the fuck do I know? You know what I mean? Words, son.
Yeah, this is just like what I was telling you, like before we started, like the fact that like my job required me to get this vaccine, and it's like that just went against everything that I stood for, because it's like I get the seriousness of what's going on, but it's just like there's not enough research, there's not enough this, there's not enough that. So it's just like now it's like I need this job, right? And I need this money. So it's like now I have to take myself out and be like, okay, how much do I value myself? Well, I value myself a lot, so I want to find a good life. I want to have a place to stay. I want to keep the car. I want to do this. So it's like now I have to kind of go against my integrity and go for it.
You don't really have to, but I get where you come from. But you don't have to. It's more or less like now it sounds like you settling, and it's like if you hold yourself, like you was saying, if you hold yourself up here, like you don't have to settle for this shit. It's like now it's like more or less either you go swim or you go drown. It's like either you go flap your wings or you go fall to the ground. It's like with you. Now it's showing you that okay, I'm banking on jobs now. Like that's when like it should tap into the point where it's like, okay, what am I good at? How can I make money? But I don't even have to go to work. Fuck the vaccine. I'm gonna make like my own brand. Like I mean, now you find your value, find your gift. I mean, find what you're good at.
When you coming up in this society or structure, you gotta give and take. So it's always gonna be a little bit of your integrity you gonna give
Right.
to get, you know what I mean, the finances from them. Even when you see black people talk about, they put their white boy voice on it, they put their white girl voice on this shit. You know what I mean? Hi, my name is Jimmy. You know what I mean? But yo, it's that integrity. You not staying rooted in who you are in your culture because you want to assimilate in somebody else's culture or society.
We have the code switch.
That's what it's called. Yeah,
Code
code
switch.
switch.
We have the
But
code
what's crazy though, some people do that, but then it's a lot of people that don't do that. It's like when, like, say if I'm on the phone, I still keep the tone of voice, but I just enunciate my words
Talk more
way much
articulate,
more
yeah.
articulated. I mean, stuff like that. So it's like I want to say, hey, yeah, no, you know, hey, how you doing? Nah, I'm just gonna keep my same, tone, just so you know, like that there's a man on the phone. Like I'm gonna speak with aggression and letting you know, like, nah, this is not like that, or like whatever the case, Jay may be in that situation at hand. But I'm not changing my voice for nobody. You can take it or leave it.
And I take it back to the topic of today. We're talking about value. You know what I mean? Knowing yourself, knowing your people, knowing your culture. And when you know the value of yourself, as being the original man, you're not going to sit up there and assimilate yourself with somebody other than your own self to fit into or sit at their table. You know what I mean?
So you're saying you got to step on some toes?
Either step on some toes or
Make
create
people
your own.
uncomfortable. Make people uncomfortable, I guess, in that sense, just to get where y'all so we want to be, I guess.
Yo, this shit.
Based on what we saying.
Because it's like this too, like even value hit off of a lot of people feel like they can't be owners. A lot of people feel like they gotta be workers. Yeah, I know it hit the topic, the comfort zone too, but at the same point in time, it's like we've been taught to be workers since, you know what I mean? We got off the fucking boat. You understand what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Word. They ain't really teaching, and then it's like when we come through and become entrepreneurs, they fuck our shit up.
But that's where it comes in being informative, like knowing these loopholes, knowing these things. So it's like I have all kind of friends, literally white, black, Puerto Rican, Arabic, Indian, but they all know something. So it's like when I'm working towards something that I know that I can go over here for, they're gonna give me that info because, like, I mean, just having resources and networking. So it's like, even when you're trying to become a entrepreneur, it's like more or less on networking. And like, even if you have to pay for the shit, like, pay for it because that's where you want to be. So shit, pay for the, you know, like books or whatever the case it is, or even just sit your ass on the computer all day.
Yeah,
But like a phone, like we put, like, you know, people normally do.
Because that knowledge brings you to a different level of awareness. The more you know, the more you're going to be aware of. You see what I'm saying? Word, yo. But yo, this is the gift of God, y'all boys. And we out, man. Peace.
Peace.